Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to issues 83 all the way up to issue 90 of Build the Iron Man Mark III. So welcome back guys and girls. It's been quite a while since I last saw you. We're picking up where we left off and we are now on issues 83. So I actually have all issues all the way up to 98. I just had a delivery the other day just for Christmas. So I've got one more coming in January with just the final two issues and we're done. So after issue 98, by the way, I've had a look through, it's done. There's basically nothing left to do. So pretty much is complete. I just need to assemble it and show you. This is a Christmas edition, so 2 days before Christmas. Hope everyone's excited about the festivities and having a normal Christmas. This is probably the first Christmas we've ever had since we've had since COVID happened. So hopefully it's gonna be a nice one for everyone. Enjoy yourselves. I'm looking forward to getting on with this. I've had a look. There's not much to do. Just a little bit of shoulder details, like air brakes, also stuff on the back and the chest. So work on those areas first. What I'm going to do, I'm going to film all of these together. So there's quite a few to do. I'm going to put them in one video though. And then once I've done that in the new year, I actually have some time again because I've been very, very tight on time recently, work and everything like that. I'm going to film the other issues, so obviously 90, 91 to 98, and then I will obviously then wait until I've got the final one at some point mid-January, because obviously Royal Mail is striking, so we'll expect to see that at some stage. So, but you'll pretty much have everything done by the 1st of January. So look out for this video and obviously the next one, and then after that, I'll be waiting for a future build that interests me. So anyway, let's get cracking. Right guys and girls, so starting with issues 83 and 84. So at the top here we have, first of all, this is the lower right flap. You've got the upper right flap, and then you've also got a shoulder plate, the rear shoulder plate. You need some SP screws for that, and you've also got a lower right brake fin. And for issue 84, it's exactly the same. It's just mirrored image of the left items. Then moving on to issue 85 and 86, just bear me a sec, let me double check the notes. So we have here a right and left spoiler. We've got upper right and lower, upper left and right brake fins again. Got some IP screws which are 1.7 times 4mm and some TP screws 1.7 times 4mm. And then lastly for issue 86 we have our right and left back plates. This is our upper breastplate. We've got some interior details here, left and right, and then we also have some pectoral details, left and right. And again, you need some, IM screws, which are 2 times 5mm. So as you can see, not many parts. Let's hopefully crack on this really quickly and we can move on to the other issues. Right, so issue 83 in step 1, the lower right flap. So you'll see on this there actually are some pre-fold flaps, so we just need to fold these very carefully so they don't snap, to ensure that obviously we get them how we want them. So it's going to be facing that way for the orientation for where you're going to twist them. So I will make sure I get this right. I'm going to twist them in, just bend them in slightly like that. If you can see, that's just bent. Just do the other one as well. It seems sturdy enough, but I don't want to break it at this point because that will mess things up. Like so. Then we're going to take the upper right flaps, that's that piece, and you're going to pop that inside. So you will see that there's a section here. Let me just double check on the photo that it's going to pop into. So those circular parts that obviously I've just created, they're going to thread over here like so. So let's pop that through. Okay, so now you're going to place the upper right flap over the lower right flap. And you'll see here there's two sections there, two little circular parts. That's going to pop over that section there. So I just put that on like so, and now that will allow me to put that that brake fin inside. So I'm going to flip it around, just double check the orientation, and then now we can pop that through, because there's actually, you can see there's some holes there. They're just going to go through and go over that, because I imagine obviously that's where you're going to screw. Yeah, you're going to secure it with some screws. So that's on there. Obviously at the moment it's a bit loose, but it will tighten once I add the screws. So that's how it should look. Okay, so for the final steps, what you're going to do, you're going to take the shoulder plate, and you are going to connect that to the hinge. So on the photo it's showing to do it this way up. So that's just going to thread over like so. Obviously you've got to get in alignment, because now we're going to pop those SP screws through. So just bear with me, I'm going to line this up and then I will screw it in. So it's one SP screw on each side. I won't bother doing issue 84 because it's exactly the same as this one. It's just the other side. So there's no point in showing you that twice. So we can skip ahead to issue 85 and 86. But I'll just crack on with this one quickly. I'm just going to get one screw in now, just to keep it in position. And then I'll do the other side, and then I'll show you how it looks in a sec. Okay, it's a little bit more fiddly than I anticipated, as this build always is, but this is how they both look. I've done left and right, and you should make sure that that is able to move that that brake spoiler. So if it can't, you've done it too tight. But that's how they look. So that's those issues both complete. We can now move on to issue 85 and 86. Okay, so issue 85, stage 1. We are assembling the right spoilers. So what we're going to do, we're going to take what we used in obviously the final assembly for issue 83, and we are going to take our right panel here, because we want to do exactly the same as what we just did pretty much in the other two issues. With that brake fin, we're going to bend that and we're going to pop it inside there, and then these two are going to connect up. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do the right one first, and then I won't show you the left, because again it's exactly the same, so there's no need to do it twice. We'll show you twice at least. So for this one it's showing to bring them in together. So one's going down and in. So just make sure I get this right. So it should be like that. And then once you've done that, you take your excuse me, take your brake fin, and you're just going to pop that on like so. So it's going to go that way. So again, that that brake fin, those holes where they want to line up with the corresponding parts. So we are going to be using some TP screws for this, by the way, guys. So I'm just going to bend that into a bit better shape. And then now this is where we're going to connect the two up together. So you'll see here there's an area we can slot that in. So that's where it's going to be connected. So let's get this right on the picture for where it's going. So it should be facing that way, because you're going to join it at the bottom here. It's going to go through there like so. So I imagine this is going to be quite fiddly, so I'm probably going to go off camera for this, and I'll show you the finished product after. Okay, so unfortunately for one of them, on the left one, it actually snapped, so I won't be able to move this one because I've had to super glue it, but the others will move. That's how they both look. So these are the flaps are complete. So we're now going to put them on. We're going to attach them to the chest assembly from issue 83, if you remember working on that. So all you do is it's just showing from the top that actually they just slide over. So I'm just going to spin it around so I can get my left and right in order. So that's the left one. So let's have a look at how that goes. So from what I can see, there's a peg, yeah, there's a peg there. So that peg will go through this hole at the top, I believe, from the hinge. If it moves. And then obviously then you will, after that, you will secure it with a screw. Okay, so after a bit of figuring it out, all you do is just literally pop it on over like that, and then that peg will go through like so, and then you're going to spin it around and just secure it with an IP screw. So it's actually a lot more simple than I thought it was. I was just getting a bit confused. To be honest, it's taken a bit longer than I anticipated as usual, so it stressed me out a little bit. So you just flip that round, get your IP screw, and then secure both sides, and then that will be this issue complete. And we'll move on to the final one, issue 86, after this step. So just securing the right one. Now let's do the left. It's a bit more, just a little bit tighter. Okay, that's the right one. Let's do the left one, then we're done. Okay, so they have been secured, and that's how it should be looking. So you can see here, I can adjust the spoilers, bring them up and down, and then I can bring the flaps in. So that's issue 85 complete. Let's move on to issue 86. Okay, so issue 86, the final issue. So this is going to be where we're closing the chest. It's a very important part. It has to be done with obviously a lot of care. It says it's quite tricky and might take a few attempts. So if I struggle to get the mast in, obviously that section there from the front of the chest, I will go off camera and then show you after, because I don't want to, you know, be effing and blinding and stressing too much. So quite simply, we're going to just try and put these together. So you'll see there's a hole for the mast, and that's just going to go through there. So I'm just going to quickly double check the orientation of the picture so I get this right, because I don't want to mess anything up. So I believe that's going to go this way. So let's lift the flaps up first, actually, get those out of the way. Okay, so I managed to get the mast through. It's very, very difficult. I actually used a tweezer to get it through, to put it through. You can barely see what you're doing because there's only a little bit of room at the bottom there to see. So that's actually in there. So I'm going to be super, super careful now because I don't want it to move out. So you're going to spin this round to this way, and you're going to secure those two with 2 IM screws in those big screw holes there. So that's how they're going to stay together. So I've pushed them together, so they're all connected now. I just need to secure them. So let me get my IM screws, and then we can move on to those last steps, and then we are done for today. And it's looking good. You know, it's a nice weight here, and it's a pretty impressive torso. So looking forward to connecting the legs and everything else soon, because I've got a lot of parts sitting around ready and waiting. And like I mentioned, I've got all the issues now up to 98, so I can get cracking with it. So I'm just going to secure this now. Now I'll move on to the last steps. Okay, so they are now secure. So we can finally add on the last details, which are the plates for the back armour. So all these just literally slot on with pegs like so, and the same for the other ones, which are the interior details. So they can see that's just slide on there. So we've got these two parts here, so left and right. Let's check that's left. So they are going to go, so lift up these flaps, they're going to go inside there, so the details there. And then that's it. That is it for today. So I'm just going to check how that goes. Again, they just go on with pegs, nothing more. So that's the first one. And those little chest details, they're going to be saved for next issue along with that as well. So don't worry about those parts for now. Let's just get these bits on. Nice. So you can see I've just added those details there, so it's just filled up those holes. The plates are on, put the flaps down, and there we have it. The back is now ready, so it's looking pretty cool from the front and the back. That's obviously the front, and that's the back. Pretty epic, right? And that is issue 86 complete. Right, guys and girls, now those first 4 issues are out of the way, we can move on to the last ones, which take me up to issue 90. So this one definitely is going to be quick. There's no springs, there's nothing fiddly here, as you can see. There's not much to do at all. So in issue 87, we've got the breastplate, so that's plastic. We've got some screws, so we've got some IP 1.74 millimeters, sorry, 1.7 times 4 millimeters. We've also got the arc reactor cover. There, plastic, and all these little plastic bits here, just little details. So, like I said, there's barely anything to do there. Moving on to issue 88. So we now have some components for the neck. So this is obviously going to be the neck support, the neck support joint there. You've got the bearing, and then you've got both of the bases 1 and 2 with some screws again. You've got some LPs 2 times 5 millimeter and SPs 2 times 9.5 millimeter. Moving on to 89, we've got the front and back neck plates here. Again, just 2 pieces with some screws, some GPs 2.3 times 5 millimeter and KPs 1.7 times 5 millimeter. And then last but not least, issue 90, we've got areas of the abdomen. So this is the inner abdominal plate, which is metal, very solid. You've got the abdominal mechanism plate, and that's plastic, but a nice detail still. Then you've got the inner abdominal structure and also the chest connection and the abdomen. Again, both those plastic. For those, you need some KP screws 1.7 times 5 millimeter and IM 2 times 5 millimeter and some screwdrivers. So that's it. So it's going to crack on, get these done. Then we'll have a little recap, and then we can move on to the next issues, which will be 91 to 98, which I'm going to film for you on New Year's Eve. Okay, so assembly of the right and left side details. So all you need is obviously the breastplate and the little details. And you know which one's which because they say L or R on them, L1 to L3, R1 to R3. So I'm going to obviously have it facing me. So this is obviously my left side here. So I'm just going to grab L1 first, and all you do is literally just pop them in with the pegs. There's nothing more that's going to hold those down. It's just literally peg. Sorry. So where are we? That was L3. So like I said, for this one, not a great deal to do. Sorry, this is actually my right, not my left. Well, sorry, it's your left, but it's technically my right. So we're starting on the R's actually. So all I'm going to do, so I might just turn it around actually so you can see. Just going to pop that detail there, obviously being R2, R2D2, and then R3, where's that? Double check that one actually, I think that's R3, I put R3 at the bottom. So, okay, so it's simple, but I'm still getting it wrong, you know. It's been a long day, it's Christmas Eve, so I'm getting this done for you guys, releasing it tomorrow on Christmas Day, and then like I said, I'm going to be doing a New Year's Eve video for 91 to 98, and I release that on New Year's Day. So then that will be the last two. One video before Christmas and one after. Okay, that's how it should be looking from the side on both of those. You've just got those nice little details there. So now what you're going to do, you're going to go on step 2, the last step. So like I said, not a great deal to do. And all we're going to do is screw the arc reactor casing, that cover. So on the inside you'll see the screw holes, so you're just going to pop that on there. I just want to make sure I've got it the right way. As you can see, that's going to be just protecting the arc reactor, so I imagine it's going to go in from that side. We can take our IP screws two of them, and then secure those to the breastplate, and that's it. That'll be the first issue done. So just quickly screw those in now and move on to 88. Okay, so just got those two in there now. That's how you should be looking from the inside and then again from the outside. And that is issue 87 complete. Okay, so issue 88, not a lot to do again, only 2 steps. So what we're going to do first of all, we're going to take the neck bearing and the neck joint support, and all we're going to do is pop them over one another. So just double checking the orientation of this from the photo, because we want to find that screw hole and just connect those two up together nicely. So you're just going to pop it over like that, if you can see. So it just goes over like that. And you want one of your SP screws. Make sure you don't over tighten it though, because obviously there needs to be some movement as it's a joint. You make it do it too tight, there won't be any movement. So we don't want that. Like I said, it's for the neck, so the neck does need to move with the head. So just going to get that screw and secure those two together, and then we do the neck base after that. Let me move swiftly on to 89. So yeah, these bits, minor details, but in the next issues, by the way guys, that's where the real magic really starts to happen. And I've read them all through and looked at the notes, and when we get to 96, the Iron Man is built, so there won't be any more to do after that. But I do need to make the base. So I've still got the final parts that have come with the base to complete. So I'm going to do that as well, but on a separate video. Okay, so you can see that there's movement. It's not too tight. I could probably tighten up a little bit more, to be honest, but I'm just being a bit cautious because I don't want it too stiff. So there's some nice movement there in the neck, and they feel pretty sturdy and secure with one another. So just one more. Yes, I'm happy with that. So now we go on to the assembly of the neck base. So all you do for these two is literally slot them over one another. So just double check which way we'll do that. So it's going to go over there. So you'll see actually that there are some holes which should line up, because you're then going to screw some LP screws in there, one aside, just to get them both locked in. So you can see that's how it's holding together, and we just want one LP screw at the top and at the bottom of that. So yeah, it's going to come off in between, but I'll just get that done now. Right, so I've got the first screw in, just doing the second one, and that's it. These two elements, by the way, are ready, and they are central for the articulation of the head. So without these, that head is stiff. So very important parts, so you don't want to break them or lose them. And that is issue 88 complete. Right, so issue 89, assembly of the neck and joint base. Sorry, the neck joint and base. So also you need the chest and back, which we work on the last issues, because obviously you're going to connect all that in there. So first of all, what you want to do with some GP screws, it's showing that we need to actually, from the last issue, so the neck support parts, we need to put 2 screws, GP ones, on the other two holes that are there that haven't been filled in, because they are going to connect up to 89A, which I believe is this one. I think they're the same. No, so it's this one, 89A. So it's the one with the extra pins, not the one with that slot. If you can see that slot there. So let's get that into place. Okay, so I've just partially screwed them in, so hopefully they're not going to move from their peg positions. And the other component, so the neck base, which we just worked on in the previous one, that's sorry, the neck joint, that's just going to slot in at the top for now. So it's going to secure these, and then I'll show you how to do that as well. So I can tighten up a bit more in a sec, but that's how that should be looking. And then with the neck joint, sorry, it literally just slots in. So there's an area there at the top where it's going to slot in. So let's check I've got this the right way around. How it should be looking. So that's how it should be looking if you just slot that in like so. Just going to quickly go over these one more time to make sure it's all secure, because obviously the helmet, you know, it's got some weight to it. You know, I mean, they've obviously tested and designed this that it should be strong enough to support it, but I think it's a bit flimsy, really, you know, having plastic for a neck support and base. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll be good enough, because otherwise I'll be giving them a call. So that's those parts complete. Let's move on to step 3, just the final steps. So we are going to, sorry, it's still step 2 actually. We're going to put the other side, the back part of the neck plate now, over this to obviously lock it all in. So let's align that up like so. Just slot that over. Hopefully it won't be too difficult. There we go, so that's in there now. And to seal it, we just need 2 KP screws. I'm going to screw those in from the front. See, there's some screw holes there. So we'll just do that, and then we can move on to connecting that up to the chest. And that'll be that stage and that issue complete. So yeah, it's looking cool. Starting to take form. Can't believe nearly there. You know, literally 2 years of my life I've been doing this, and I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to go for the Agora models in the future, because obviously you get those packs and you can, it costs more money, but you get a lot more issues at one point, so you get faster development with the builds, because you know, this is 2-year stint thing I did with Terminator, it's just too long. It's just too long. It gets boring in the end, and you don't, in my opinion, you just lose the passion for it and interest. So I'm obviously more excited now because it's all finally coming together, but there's been many months, you know, say a good year, where I'm just like, oh, I'm not as bothered or as interested as I was when I first got it. So definitely going to change my approach with the subscriptions in the future after doing Hachette, and obviously this one being the first fan home. So there you go. That is the next port all complete. Okay, so that's how it's looking now. We've fused all that, so that's all good to go. So all we want to do here, from what it says, is just literally pop it in there. It's just there's going to be nothing more. So you'll see there's a, you know, a section of the hole for that point inside to stabilize it. So part of the neck. So I just want to make sure I've got this right. Just as a little gentle pressure, it should go in. So there you go. Okay, so there you go, pops in. The whole set forms a dual articulation, obviously, that allows this neck to swivel, so you can see that I'm able to swivel that. But that is that issue complete. Okay, so last but not least, issue 90, and just one step to do, nothing much at all whatsoever. So we're going to take the abdominal plates and also the inner plate and just pop that over like so. So it's just going to click in, and then spin it around from the other side, and you're going to secure it with 4 KP screws. So you'll see that there's four screw holes that align up. So I'm just going to do one of them, and I'll skip ahead because there's no point you watching me screw some holes in. Sorry, screw some screws in. And there's no much excitement in that. So let's get the first one done. Okay, so that's how it's looking. It's all nice and secure. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take component 90D, which is the abdomen and chest connection. So you are going to slide that on the inside. So it's just going to slot in. Just going to double check the orientation of that. See how it goes. What it shows in the picture. Okay, so it slots in low at the bottom, just there. I was trying to do it at the top. Obviously I'm trying to do this whilst also showing you guys. So that's just going to be secured with two, I believe, IM screws, yeah. So I'm just going to do that, and that's it for today. And that's it just for Christmas. There won't be any more issues now until New Year's Eve, when I work on the remaining ones I have, which is 90, 91 to 98, with 2 left to go after that in New Year, when they get delivered, the final 2, because there's 100 issues for this, remember. But I will obviously make that separate video for the base, because there's a lot to add on to that. So you'll see the whole base come together and light up, and all the other effects it can do and whatnot. Well, I say effects, just how it looks, because apart from the lights, that's all there is. This part here, 90C, we won't be using that until the next issue, or whenever it is. So just put that aside for now, as well as everything else you've worked on. And we are about done with this one. Just make sure it's extra tight. There we go. That is issue 90 complete. So thanks for tuning in again, guys and girls. Obviously it's been a while since I've done one, but that's quite a lot to go through, you know, 8 issues. Most I've done actually, but hopefully the editing, it won't look as long. As always, I'll put timestamps on it so it breaks it up nicely. Hope you have a lovely Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your time with your family. This is the first proper one for 3 years because of all the COVID rubbish. People can, you know, do normal stuff now and enjoy themselves. So spend time, precious time with family and friends, because you never know what's around the corner health-wise, or just in general. So not to sound morbid, but guys, make time for your loved ones and people you care about, because it's not always promised. Every Christmas is special, every summer is special, every moment is special. So enjoy those moments. I've loved this. Like I said in the video, it's been a little bit annoying at times, frustrating, because it takes quite a long time, but I'm really happy with how it's looking. We're really making some good progress. This is where we're at present. So in the next issues, like I mentioned, we're going to be finally adding the limbs. Everything's going to come together. So we're going to do the hips, the pelvis, it's going to join the legs up, we're going to connect the arms and shoulders to the torso. The arc reactor's going in, the head's going on, the lot. The only thing I will say, which I read from the video, the books, sorry, the magazines, I'm really unhappy because I thought that it was fully articulated once you put it together. But what I've learned is that the other issues, we're actually working on other hip sections, which you basically have to dismantle the Iron Man to make him go in different pose. Some people say, oh, that's fine, I'm happy to do that, it don't take very long. But for me, it's an expensive item. I don't want to be taking it apart because it could get damaged, or you know, just little scratches and scuffs. And ultimately, if I want to just articulate it and move it, I just want to be able to do it right there and then. I don't, like, if I wanted to go kneeling, I want to be able to do that. If I want him to stand up, I want him to do that. I don't want to have to take him apart, add a new hip, an abdomen area to make him have that movement. I just feel like it's just a waste of time and a bit. I think it's been slightly missold in that way. But regardless, it's going to look really cool. I'm probably going to go for the pose where he's got the fist down, you know, like kneeling down. I think that looks cool. Where he's just standing there static, it looks very boring. There's no like life there, and no, doesn't look like he's ready to go. There's no action. It's just still and dead. I know it's a model, but I would like him to look like he's more animated. So I'm going to go for that pose most likely. Obviously, I will do what it's shown in the magazines where when we put him together, he's just standing upright on the base. But then after that, I will I'll change him and I'll show doing that, and then you can see. I won't do all of them, but I'll do the other pose as well, so you can see. But anyway, guys, like I said, I will film the next 8, which I have, including the base, on New Year's Eve, so just a couple of days time. But anyway, guys, if you did like this video, please remember to, as always, to like, comment and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.